What's up, everybody? Jordan back here with the third interview of today. It's been a long day for me, but I'm super excited we're here. This is one I've been really looking forward to with Adam Watkins. He is one of the owner, managers, and founders of Society Salon over here in Old Town Scottsdale. And he is the third interview of the week with one of the Watkins brothers. So, Adam, I'm super excited you're here, man. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Awesome. Good to hear. Well, let's do it. So, you started operating multi-salon franchise at age 23. Is that right?
Yeah,
Operating a multi-salon franchise at age 23. And that was Tony and Guy, correct?
exactly. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let a couple people file in. If you guys are here on the live, type in hashtag live. If you guys are here on the replay, type in hashtag replay. But as soon as you get here, let us know who you are, what you do, and where you are from so we can talk to you guys while we're doing this awesome interview. And let's go ahead and dive right in. So, Adam, why don't you give us a little bit of background and information on who you are, what you do, and why you're here?
Okay, so I'm here just to kind of join and continue the conversation that Caleb and Dominic started, just to get into more detail on some of what we've learned over the past 5, 10 years specifically, just as we've been working with our own salon entity now, but also with Tony and Guy in the past and with just other companies, and really just wanted to share what we've learned and give everybody that advantage in their business going forward. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited. So did you get started in the salon like at 14 as well? Or no, you kind of had like a slow introduction into the industry. It wasn't something you thought you wanted to do, right?
So it was a little bit different as
Yeah.
far as I did get started at 14. So same with Caleb, same with Dominique.
Mm-hmm.
We started answering phones and just observing and interacting inside of the salon on a regular basis at 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I was considering going to school,
Mm-hmm.
traditional school, college. And I didn't like the idea of being the poor college student, right? Like that was ringing in my ear, the broke college student. So
Yep.
about when I was midway through my senior year, I decided I would just start with hair school and at least fund my college career if I decided to do that. So yeah, I jumped into hair school as soon as I graduated and didn't look back, to be honest.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Well, Lori just said she is live here. She is from Cornelius, North Carolina. She's a salon owner. What's going on, everybody? If you are a salon owner, let us know where you're located and give us a wave, give us a thumbs up, give us something so we can talk to you guys during this. But that's pretty cool. So you thought we were going to go down the college route. You decided not to, and you decided to get into the family business in the hair industry, right? Were you excited about it at first, or was it something you're not too sure on?
You know what? I was sure about it. There was no fear, really reserved. The question was, at what point did I want to get involved? Well, if I went through traditional school, was just to use what I had picked up in business, and then it just made more sense to actually learn while running the family business. So
that's awesome. And this is when you were 23 years old. Or no, you got started younger, but 23 is when you actually started operating the first salon, right?
Yeah. So I think I started managing probably at 19.
Okay.
As far as like actually operating from ground up, as far as opening the salon, the entity, the paperwork, the payroll, managing all the accounts. That's when it got real. We'll say that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a light work. It got real.
Yeah.
So.
I gotcha. Well, that's pretty cool, man. That's an interesting background, and that's a pretty young age to start managing. So you've already had how many years of experience now?
10 years behind the chair.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And about like 14 years in the industry, you told me, and 10 of those have been behind the chair then. Awesome. So now you are basically, we're working together on making sure that you guys can grow and expand the new Society brand, which I'm super excited about because that just happened back in January, right? So you guys are looking to kind of take that on your own. What's kind of the big plans and vision for the business, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, so I mean, really what we're excited about doing after working with a franchise for a period of time, we found out that we had a few different ideas, but more so a different personality on a local level. So, right, we no longer fit a national brand. It was time for us to get more into our own. So we were able to market and share some of our specific skill sets
Mm-hmm.
we picked up. So just working with different styles and different textures of hair,
Mm-hmm.
but also our salon being so diverse, we wanted to make sure that we had a name that spoke to that, and
Mm-hmm.
we could, take advantage of and market that as well. So, right, society, we're operating with society as far
Right.
as our client base, but also as far as our staff inside. We cover every end of the spectrum, so it's something that we wanted to be able to share.
That's awesome. And I love the dynamic in your guys' salon. You guys have super awesome environment. The education and training is awesome there. Just a cool place to hang out. But the one thing that I did notice is you guys like definitely all that education and experience that's been, passed on between all of you guys. You can definitely tell. Like when I was sitting and you were doing my hair, I tell everyone about this. Like I was like, I understand why these guys charge $100 a head for hair and stuff like that, right? Because you were educating me throughout the process. I kind of, we had a good conversation. I told you, like, I don't really know what I want. I usually just go get my hair cut and, I go home and I can never recreate the style and anything. And you were able to give me some recommendations, help me out with it. And I ended up looking clean and fresh on the back end. So I love that. Would you say like, I talked to Caleb earlier this week, so he's really focused in the cutting aspect, right? And then Dominique is more focused in the coloring aspect. What would you say like your passion and specialty really is? If whether behind the chair or in the business, what are you really the most passionate about in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my real passion is more so the business. The hair is something that, seeing done so long, that part is actually not too hard.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Caleb really, right, being such a specialist in the actual cutting and the understanding and just the ideas and concepts behind hair, he takes it a whole new level into that aspect. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to take that same intensity and focus into the business and the operation side as far as how do we operate within the salon, but also how do we operate as a business.
Mm-hmm.
That's really one of the other advantages to stepping out and launching our own brand is being
Yeah.
able to get into other opportunities, right? We're a hair salon, but I also want to get more into real estate and some of those things. So that's really one of our big ventures coming up is purchasing some commercial real estate for the salon. So really what we're looking to do is grow beyond just a hair salon.
I
So
love that. And I'm excited to see you guys grow. I mean, you guys are so young and got some big goals ahead of you. So I'm excited. Misty's here, Terry's here, Tamara's here, Tanya's here, Katie's here. She's invited some more people as well. If you guys are here, make sure to drop in the comments, Viviana, one of the two. Let us know. If you are here, let us know your name, who you are, what you do, where you're from, so we can chat with you guys a little bit while we dive into the topic of more behind, the business aspect of running the salon. And, we're talking about today a lot revolved around product sales because that can really, be the income of the business, be the heart and soul of it alongside of the services and things like that. We got to talk the products, the revenues, and how to, boost those numbers up. So I'm excited to get right into this. The first thing that we plan on talking about today is the one missing ingredient you absolutely need to increase your revenue across the board. What is the one missing ingredient, Adam?
So the major missing ingredient for any salon, right, if you're not hitting the goals of doing what you want to do, is momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And really being able to utilize and leverage that to start building, just taking it day at a time, but making sure that you're gaining momentum, just like ride a train. When you're moving, you can't stop. And once you get going, once you're building and hitting 60 miles an hour, there's nothing that can break you down at that point. So momentum is definitely that key ingredient to be able to get into that $1 million bracket as far as your salon revenue is concerned.
Absolutely. And how many, again, if you guys are here, do we have any salon owners here who are managing staff and things like that too? And if you don't, that's okay, because maybe that's something you're looking into doing. But this could also apply to, solopreneur, one man, one woman show as well. Getting those.
There's $1 million stylists, right? Even outside the salon. So what's to stop you, right? As far as the group is 6-figure stylists, it takes momentum to be able to do that as well.
Right.
Your own solo clientele. So that's definitely going to be the biggest game changer.
100%. And so let's talk momentum for a little bit. So in order to get momentum, you've got to have a little bit of a kickstart, right? So what would you say is maybe a good key step-by-step process, or at least a good starting point for those that want to either start to achieve that momentum, or maybe get a good action plan in place to start adding more numbers to their business?
Exactly. So a really great Kickstarter, and something that we've used time and time again, and as we're striving for our new goals, we're getting it back in full effect, is utilizing retail as a big momentum boost for the salon to not only impact the bottom line, but also impact the stylist, impact client retention, and it really touches on a lot of different areas. So.
So when we talk in retail, what it maybe like, what advice could you give to those that maybe have retail and products, but maybe they're not maximizing the potential of what they have right now?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, how I feel about retail as that momentum Kickstarter is it's one of those core things, and it's what's the word? It's easy, it's simple, and momentum is all about your repetition, and it's all about building that habit. So it's something that's consistent that you can continue to bring up and utilize and work with. And I think the biggest portion, or the biggest part about getting into retail, is really taking a step back and just seeing what does retail really do for you.
Yeah.
And some of the key points that came up for me as I thought through this a little bit, retail for me, obviously it impacts the bottom line for every sale, right? If you have a markup on your product. So that's going to be just money straight to the bottom line that you don't have to work for.
Right.
So for all those guys who, right, you're doing a 2-hour, 3-hour balayage, getting super intense, super in detail, and say you charge $150 for the service. It's nice to be able to add another 25% on by selling your shampoo and conditioner at $25 a bottle.
Right.
Adding right to the bottom line, if we're talking no additional work. Because really happens during the service. You don't have to put extra hours for that. You don't have to do anything difficult for it. You just have to work the system.
100%. And just playing on that a little bit too, while you may charge $100 to $150 for the balayage, and that seems like a lot of money, if it's taking 2 to 3 hours, breaking that down, that's like what, $50 an hour. So how can you more maximize your time and make more in that amount of time? The easiest way to do it is through retail, right? Just playing off here on the comments too. Ashley said, no staff yet, maybe in a few years. Keep the dreams big, Ashley. I love it. Bree is here. She's a salon owner. She's in our mastermind community. She actually manages staff right now. Her big goal is to hit that $1 million salon. So we'll definitely, hopefully, be able to help her out with getting those numbers up today. Kristen says retail is her bread and butter. It's like free money. I mean, if you know what you're doing, it can definitely be a little extra money in the bank, right? Because it really doesn't take that any extra time if you have that system for it, right? Which we're going to talk about here in a second, right, Adam?
Exactly.
And Kristen says it helps build trust with your customers as well. Absolutely, Kristen, 100% agree with you. Bree says, with Amazon, Ulta, and Walmart carrying salon products, how do you handle that? Go ahead and dive right into that question too.
Cool. Let me jump in and just comment first on Kristen English, just talking about how it builds trust with your customers. That is really my second point outside of adding directly to the bottom line. Building that trust with that trust with your client, that's really where you make even more. If you can get a client in for one service, that's great. If they buy retail, that's great, right? But that's still cute at the end of the day. The goal is to have a 10-year client.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm looking at my dad or other stylists that have been around. I'm like, wow, like somebody stuck with you for 10 years. And now that I'm like at that point and I have something, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it's really just a part of building trust, building that relationship.
Yeah.
And retail is a key factor of that because they're not buying the retail, they're buying you.
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%.
Based on their trust and their experience and their comfort level with you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Bree, they would go to Amazon or Walmart or Ulta or whatever that is. But so again, the second thing to selling retail is understanding the value.
Absolutely.
So building that trust, getting that returning client, that repeat business, not just for the product, but for your chair. That's going to be the second just really important part to that.
Yeah.
But as far as, to answer your question directly, as far as with working with Amazon, Ulta, and any other retail competitors out there. Like I mentioned, it really is about working the system. And for me, it's three parts that I really like to touch on or get into detail on with my clients. Um, the first thing is being thorough in your consultation. So when it comes to your consultation, really you're setting up every future part of your business going forward. You're setting up your pre-booked appointment, you're setting up your retail sell, and how you would do that is simply by addressing their needs. So, that's what they do with online advertising. Do you have back pain? Call us for this or that, right? They're playing on what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're in your chair, you can build a relationship while you do that versus them responding to an ad they seen on Facebook or wherever it might have been. So if you're hypothetically getting ready to get into a balayage service, just let them know even in that consultation, because we're going to do this, I'm going to keep her in good shape, but it is going to take a little damage. Mm-hmm. So what are you using at home to offset damage currently? Are you using treatments? Are you using anything?
Absolutely.
And even if you don't make a recommendation in that moment, you're still setting the stage and just letting them know you're getting their wheels turning on, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah.
To answer that, because this is going to be a potential challenge or issue, especially if they want to go really live.
Absolutely.
Throughout the day and throughout that service. So to me, setting it up and starting there in your consultation is definitely key. And then from there, digging into your actual service. For me specifically, I only cut hair. So one of the other huge benefits that we have over any of the outside retailers, and again, to be honest, anybody that's not selling directly in your salon, is that we can address those specific challenges, and they can get that instant result.
Absolutely.
So for your clients, Bree, if they're looking for something to give their hair some texture or some body, right? They want the beach wave look that everybody has. My go-to for that is the TG Catwalk Salt Spray. And they can see an ad for that, or they can be walking through Ulta looking at all these different products, and they can get it wrong.
Yeah.
If I know that's a need based on our consultation, if they've got fine, untreated hair, and I know it's not going to hold the wave, I will let them know that, hey, because your hair is soft, we're going to use salt spray.
Use that with me, and I use it every day now.
We did, because so you guys maybe can't tell over the video, but Jordan's hair is extremely soft, extremely fine. He's got a thick, full head of hair, but it's got no grip. It's got no texture. So when he polishes it straight back, it's going to fall, especially when we're dealing with 110 that's coming up next week.
Yep, it would be down here.
Exactly. So really taking that time to educate your client, but also letting them feel the product and feel that result. So I'll let them know what I'm going to use. I'm going to let them know how much I'm going to use it and how to use it.
Yep.
And then as soon as I blow dry their hair, I'll just pose a simple question. How does that product feel? And then, they're going to get their hands in their hair, fill it out. And that's doing two things for us. What that's doing is it's getting them a chance to feel it and analyze and see that instant difference.
Right.
My hair was soft, now it's instantly not. I attribute this and connect this directly with Catwalk Salt Spray.
Right.
I now need Catwalk Salt Spray. But also, it's helping me as a stylist to know what's going to be best for their hair, because I'm only making my best recommendation. And maybe, we have 3 or 4 different salt sprays that we offer in the salon. Maybe that one's not the best fit. Maybe she feels it's sticky. So if that's her comment, now I know once we actually check out, I understand that, you didn't love that salt spray that we used. This one's a little bit softer, and I think we'll give you a better result at home.
Right.
So that way I'm building trust. I'm not forcing a sell, but I'm making sure she actually gets what she needs versus just saying, hey, this is what I thought, take this no matter what, period. I'm adjusting my recipe to make sure that they get exactly what they want at home. And when they go home and utilize it and can repeat that, now that's where you're building that trust. You build some trust in the salon, you build more trust at home when they look good every day. So that's the key part for you there as far as that's concerned.
I love that. So you had kind of like a three-step system here. So the first is to be thorough in your consultation, right? And the second step,
The second step is to educate your client as you go.
educate as you go.
With every single product. So with most of my clients, I'll use maybe 2 to 3 products by the time the service is done.
Mm-hmm.
So again, with the salt spray, I'm going to use the Catwalk salt spray with you today. We're going to do about 22 pumps, and we're going to spray it roots to ends. And then after we blow dry, let them feel it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm layering something else in there, like a heat protectant. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're using this heat protectant, this many pumps. You want to apply this ends only, so it doesn't interfere with the salt spray, or whatever your brief detail is. It doesn't have to be
Right.
super serious. Some stylists get really deep into the science and the technology behind it.
People
And
don't care about that.
nothing wrong with that.
Uh-oh, we had Adam drop out for a second. I'll go ahead and take over. So basically, what Adam is trying to get across to us, and he'll be back here in just a second, I'm sure, is you want to make sure to educate and show that you are the expert in your space by demonstrating why you're using this product and demonstrating it for them while you're there. And if you do it the right way through your consultation and the education and the demonstration, making the offer should be a simple decision for the client. They should be able to then trust that you have the right recommendation for them, and then you'll ultimately be able to do that exchange and make the offer. So I am going to answer you guys' questions. I'm going to wait a couple seconds for Adam to get back on. Sometimes the software is a little bit buggy, so I apologize, guys. But let us know if you have any questions when it comes to product sales, or when it comes to any of these lines, because product sales are ultimately going to help you boost the sales in your business. You back, Adam?
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, you're back. I was just kind of recapping what you said. So all we're doing here is really like to avoid and overcome these objections, is to really build that trust. So being thorough in the consultation, educating as you go, putting it in your client's mind that you know exactly what you're talking about, that you are the expert and you have the right recommendation for them. And then you're also going to demonstrate. Would that be step 3?
So really, the demonstration to me is part of the educating them as they go, letting them feel it and touch it.
Gotcha.
The final step is just walking them up and breaking the products down again as you check out. So the greatest comparison that somebody explained to me is, once you go to the doctor, they give you a prescription. They don't ask you to buy it. They don't do anything. They simply tell you, this is what you need. This will get you better. And this is how you want to use it at home. Right? They give you that information that you need. They tell you what problem it's going to solve. So really, that's the approach that I take as well, is I'll walk them up and I'll go briefly through exactly what we just discussed. We're going to do, again, what I use for this look today that we did is this many pumps of salt spray, and it's going to be this. We also use this shampoo to help with dryness, and you can use this deep conditioner at home if you're going to keep going lighter over your next several coloring appointments. And from there, it's really simple. It's not a pressure, but simply just let them know whatever you need, we'll get you all checked out for. If there's something you want to wait on, that's fine. But just taking that moment to briefly recap, physically show them the product. So that way, again, you're getting trust. You're not just giving them to take the product and they don't know how to use it.
Right.
Because that's going to hurt your trust and hurt that rapport that you've built with them if they go home and they feel the product doesn't work.
Right.
So really, it's your job to seal the deal and make sure that they fully understand what it is they need to do so they can get that exact result at home.
I love that. That's awesome. So basically, like you said, obviously the thorough consultation is ultimately going to allow you to prescribe, like a doctor would, why this is the right recommendation for them to solve their specific problems in their specific situation and get them ultimately what they want. And then you're also going to educate throughout, but you said not too technical, right? No one cares about the science behind that stuff, really. They just want their problem solved, or they just want that, beautiful head of hair, or they just want to look good, right? And so let them know how this is going to help them do that and achieve those goals, right? And then constantly ask questions as you go to kind of reaffirm and confirm that, this does make sense with them and that it is the right recommendation for them. And at the end, you said you just break down and prescribe the solution and why that you're recommending that to them and make the offer, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, we do have a couple comments here. So Lori here said studies have shown that clients that purchase 3 or more products have a 90% retention rate. That is an awesome stat, Lori. She also said if they purchase 2 or more, 60% retention, and only one product, 30% retention. So purchases do reflect trust. That's very, very, thank you for sharing that, Lori. That's very good stuff. Bree said, I am struggling with this with my girls. They say the clients literally look at our products and then find them on Amazon and purchase because it is cheaper while they are sitting in the chair. What can they do to solve some of these problems?
So that one, Bree, you know what? I feel like it does happen. I think maybe more and more now lately, right, with Amazon being so accessible through the app.
Mm-hmm.
But truthfully, at least from my experience, most people are not that tech savvy and are not that interested. I've had a few clients go to Amazon, but the other thing is there's no guarantee that they're getting a legitimate product, depending on the line that you carry. So a couple things that you could do, considering what product line that you're carrying, could differentiate you from Amazon, right? If it's something that's not easily accessible. So for us, we carry TG, which is Bedhead Catwalk S Factor. And there are a few of those bedhead products that are available at Walmart or on Amazon. And one thing that a lot of people have pointed out to me is that sometimes those are not legitimate products. And even if they are, in those rare cases, just simply let them know we can match that price, because the whole idea is we're building trust.
Right.
We're using the retail to build trust. Even if you don't get that dollar there, they see, hey, you know what, they're willing to work with me. So I'm going to work with them. Let me go and come back for my next appointment. And then also at that point, they see that they can continue to shop and work with you on a regular basis, and they have to keep coming back to you for that product.
Plus, I feel like if you do, go through that consultative process and you really do connect with the client and you're building that trust, it would be, they wouldn't want to disrespect you in that regard too, and try to do something like that, right? I feel like, as long as you are thorough with that person and making sure that you're having that real client connection with them, that you'll start to avoid those problems happening. But if you just like have them sit in the chair, you don't talk to them too much, you're basically just exchanging the service and the work. And then at the end, oh, well, here's what we used today. Want to take it home? Oh, what did you use? Then I'll do it on my phone. But if I'm having a conversation the whole time, by the end of it, I'm just going to, ultimately go with what the expert's going to recommend, right? And I'm not going to have any objections to it, right? Just like, think about it when you do go to, the doctor's office or, a more specialized practice or something like that. While you can get medications and stuff probably at a discount somewhere else, usually the convenience of just getting it there from the doctor who love, and probably trust, you'll just do it, right? And you'll just take the action you need to take. So I think a lot of those things just all revolve around that first impression that you give of the client, that you're the professional and that you're there to actually help them. And you're building that trust. It all just comes down to building trust, right, Adam?
100%. And I'm reading one of these comments here from Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying here that they don't have a retail shelf yet. It looks like they ship out the products to the clients.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, two things that could help you out greatly is starting small with whatever product it is that you're carrying. As we were building and working through different promotions and things at a time, we didn't have a full shelf. We carried a few small tables.
Mm-hmm.
And they had signage with their product sale, and then they had a few bottles that people could take with them.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the most crucial things with retail is it has to be there present for them to buy.
Right.
Some people buy online, but again, that's going to be that 10% that's looking on Amazon already.
Yep.
Those are going to be the people that would actually order their product online.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's going to be that, hey, they just connected these dots on I need this and what it'll do for me, and they answered my problem that I was having. So let me take that now, have it today.
Yeah.
So even if you started with $100 and literally find a nice table on OfferUp, even if you're starting with one or two super popular products, go to Cosmoprof, or Salon Centric, get 10 of each and just start small. And that's going to start building that habit for you and the girls, because you'll have that opportunity to walk them to the front, physically show them something. And then they can make that offer to them at that point. So honestly, $150, even if it's just your product of the week or product of the day, I think would be a huge boost and just start for you guys inside of your salon.
Absolutely. I think that's awesome. Lori said she did private label with her salons. That helped her. We had a couple of other people hop on here as well. If you're here, let us know who you are, what you do, where you're from. Lori dropped a quote here. The profit we make from the products you purchase at our salon help us to continue to educate our stylists and improve the services, products we are able to offer you. Ashley said, I know I'm trying so hard to get retail. Maybe I should just get a handful of cleansers and moisturizers. I guess like whatever it takes to add those extra numbers on there, as long as you're behind the product and you're providing the right recommendation, right? You don't want to just, get anything and everything just to throw on some numbers, right, Adam?
100%. So Ashley, right, it could be as simple as taking a look at your clientele and seeing what do people really need.
Mm-hmm.
So for my clientele, I deal with a lot of fine hair, a lot of straight hair. And because of the balayage beach wave trend, 80% of my clients can benefit from salt spray.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, if I were in that position, I would buy salt spray and dry shampoo or dry texture spray, either one of those or both of those. And I would just offer those products.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to be what most people can use and benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
But again, more importantly, that can get the staff or the team excited because they're offering what they want. If they're not excited about shampoo, they won't sell.
Right.
If they're excited about salt spray and their clients feel that result and they're sharing that excitement, those are going to fly off the shelves. And that was actually one of the big things that I forgot to mention when we got started. Really, the biggest key to selling retail is just being excited about what it is that you offer. And that's something, right, I can imagine for Lori with her salon private labeling. I'm sure the staff took a lot of pride in that and were excited to back that. Whether it was, right, private label means you put your label on it, but 5 other salons might carry the exact same. Even if it's no better, if you're excited and you genuinely care and respect that product line, your clients are going to feed off of that energy. And that's something
100%.
For me in my retail heyday, which is, I guess been years now, but I was really focused. We launched salt spray for the first time. This was like 7 years ago now. And I think I sold $700 of salt spray in 2 days. But it wasn't me forcing it. I didn't force anybody. I didn't barely ask anybody to take it. I was excited about the result that it was providing, and people responded to that. So whatever it takes, Ashley, for you to get excited, start with that one product and share that excitement with your team.
Yeah, I mean, if you're excited about something, like it's going to make your clients more excited about it too. Like you have to really be passionate about what you do, love what you're doing, and love what you're offering to someone. And they'll be like, oh, wow, like I could definitely benefit from this too, right? That excitement and that energy and that attitude is ultimately what is going to allow you to build a better relationship, get your clients to trust you more, get them coming back more, and also, spending more money with you. Like if you have that awesome attitude, you have that awesome excitement and passion for what you do and what products you stand behind, like they will respond to that in a positive manner as well. Right, Adam?
Yep.
Awesome. So we talked about how to kind of battle out, because I hear this happens all the time. We're literally sitting in the chair and shopping prices and ordering on Amazon and stuff. And I can completely understand how that could be a pain in the butt. But all you can do is control what you can control and control the way that you treat your clients, the way that you build that trust, and the way that you have that excitement and communication with them. So if they are willing to do that after all the value and energy and, relationship that you had built with them, then that's on the client. There's nothing that you can do if someone does that, right? It's not like you can force them to give me your phone, throw it across the room, right? Like if they're going to do that, they're going to do it. But the only thing you can do is have an amazing consultation, have an amazing experience with the client, and be able to really, have that good client connection, right? So what would you say? You can hear me okay, right, Adam?
I can hear you now, yep.
Okay, cool. So those that are watching, let us know if you got any questions regarding your retail. We'd love to answer them right now. But let's go ahead and transition how to keep that same client buying retail from your salon time and time again. How do you get people kind of hooked on that? product in retail, and more importantly, also hooked on you, because that's what we talked about as well. It really comes down to their connection with you. So what do you do as far as like really building that lifetime connection that we talked about at the beginning of this?
So as far as for that, real lifetime connection with retail, but also just with services, is continuing to treat your client like a client.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, even though somebody I've been seeing for 8 years, 10 years, I still make sure to ask and just see, okay, are you having any new check marks?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that way I can address or make new recommendations based on that. But also for me personally, again, being excited about retail, I have some clients that I recommend something different every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the hair a little bit differently that day.
Right.
Or maybe they bring in a slightly different picture that's styled a little bit differently. And it makes me think, hey, this might give them that 2% edge, right? So for somebody like Jordan, he's got a matte finish product in Sarah Tell right now. So that works great. But he comes in, say he's going to a wedding. Hey, you know what? Let's try this wet look for today.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's something new that he could offer. But now that's also something new in his bag of tricks, right? He's got a date with Katie coming up. Now, let's do the wet look. We're going to be sharp. We're going out to a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to give them options
Mm-hmm.
is always something that works well, and they can continue to rotate those products going forward.
Right.
So just sharing that excitement, giving them new ideas for how they're going to work or interact with their hair definitely makes a big difference on that next retail purchase. So.
Right, 100%. And like, not even in all regards to the retail and product too, like the importance of lifetime value is huge, right? Like you were talking about at the beginning of this, and I wanted to dive very deep into this topic. Like, those clients that stick around for like a year, 2 years. In your case, you had, clients who were sticking around for like 10 years in the salon. Like, think about like how much trust that you have built with that person over that time for them to stick with you, and how much, willing they are to spend more money with you, but also refer more people to you. And so sometimes it's also like not as important to just focus on attracting a ton of clients constantly, but focusing on, really refining the process of the client connection so that the clients who do come in that are new go through that process of getting the amazing consultation, amazing experience, and can turn into that lifetime value customer that may be worth $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 over a long period of time, right?
Exactly.
So how do you guys what do you guys feel like you guys do as a salon that sets you aside and really makes that good impact with each client that walks into the salon?
Got it. So, to be completely honest, and right, again, that idea of momentum, that's where you get that 10-year client is through building your momentum, and retail, again, being a huge part of that. Through some of the comments I've seen, right, I'm working on that with my team, and again, we are too, but most salons are not going to educate you as a client. And that's one of those big things that will set you aside from, no disrespect, but say a high-end salon versus a Fantastic Sands.
Mm-hmm.
Each salon has its place in its market, but if I want to be seen as a professional and a destination as a salon, if I take the time to really gauge their issues, answer their problems, make recommendations, and hear them out, that sets me aside as far as making me a professional versus a place I go when I'm out of town to get a quick haircut because I have to be somewhere.
Right.
So really taking that time to educate them is huge. Even stepping outside of the products to showing them how to round brush if they're struggling with that. To show them how to curl with the flat iron or get the beach wave or whatever those, little things are that they need help with. That is, to me, one of the biggest things that differentiates us from a lot of other salons is taking the time to do that. And to your thing, Jordan, right, retaining more clients is being consistent with that.
Right.
So if you're using retail as your overall baseline, once you've built that habit, when my client comes in, I consult, I ask these questions about product. I now educate them and I now walk them up and check them out. Once you've got that habit going, from that point, you can add one more thing on, right? So now I'm adding and extending my head massage with the shampoo bowl because I have a habit and I have a system that I'm already following. And now at that point, I'm adding, I can focus on my conversation that's not based on retail.
Right, 100%.
Add value there. And right, you can continue to add those different layers to your service. But retail is just a really great baseline to start with because you first start by setting yourself as a professional. And
Right.
it's very easy to build that connection, but also that consistency
Right.
is going to be the key. If you do a great service to 1 out of your 10 clients, you're going to be hungry the next week or 2 months from then when only 1 of those 10 people comes back. So
Yeah,
really that every client gets a consistent service is also
absolutely.
the ability to build habits and just
Mhm.
start small with walking them up with retail at the end. You know?
Right. And I say this all the time, in these interviews, in our private programs and stuff too, like you don't want to treat yourself like the candy store. People aren't just coming in to exchange a quick service and they're on their way. You need to really treat yourself as an experience, as, an education process, a way that solves problems rather than just provide services, right? And that's ultimately going to allow those people who come into your chair, your salon, your studio, wherever you work, to get that good, strong first impression and be willing to book that next appointment with you because, people are so used to honestly fit quality service that, you going above and beyond is going to mean a lot to them, right?
100%.
I love that. So Ashley said, absolutely adore my line. I've just been too scared to invest into retail. I just need to do it. What would you have to say about that?
Ashley, keep it simple. Put a $100 bill at Cosmoprof and start small. The idea is if you have 10 products and you sell 3 of those that day or 4 of those, you can make your money back the same day. But from there, reinvest that right back into the retail until you can get a little inventory going that you can appreciate. And that gives
Absolutely.
you more leverage and room. So
Mm-hmm.
just start small. Even if it's as simple as this Saturday I have 7 clients, let me buy 7 bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal is to sell all 7 or sell 3, right? To make my money back in the weekend, whatever it
Yeah.
is, just to get you started. Because until you start building the habit, it won't matter, but you'll be missing that on the bottom line. I know there's an endless amount of retail that you can sell again because it doesn't take time.
Mm-hmm.
And say at our best, I think we were doing over $10,000 a month. So we're talking $100,000 a year just in retail. And that's something that with our new team, we have a new young core of guys. And so that's my goal is to get back to that level where we're doing $2,500, $3,000 a week without any extra work. So.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And you just really have to break down those numbers and realize like how much it can add to your income, your revenue. And also like, if you don't make the investment yourself in your business, who else is going to, like if you want to make more income right now, you can either get more clients, you can charge higher prices, or you can add retail. It's basically the only 3 options, right? And so one of the easiest ways that you can up that income right now is you're already seeing clients, add the retail in there, right? It's the quickest and easiest way. No extra time. It may just take the investment to get the product, but it pays for itself as long as you sell it. So you got to set some targets there too, right?
Exactly. So don't go spend like $5,000 on inventory. Start small. Again, the idea is momentum. It builds small. Start with the few products and build it while you build that habit. So.
Just like anything, like if we're talking even about, online marketing and advertising, you don't just want to go straight into throwing out big old massive budgets before, you get your return on that first investment and you start to see how it works. And then, what is that going to look like when I increase that budget? It's the same type of thing. You're investing to be able to get a bigger return on your investment, right? So either way, if you're looking to increase your income, you can invest in advertising, which is a lot more complicated processes and steps, but stuff that we can all help you with. Or you can add retail. And there's really not too much involved into it. As long as you have a good killer process to it, you can bump those numbers up, right? I love that. So Adam, why don't you share a little bit about how the business right now of what you guys are doing is and what your future goals and vision for the salon is? Because I think you guys have some pretty awesome monster goals, but you're already extremely successful. So if you don't mind kind of sharing, like, where are you guys at right now and where are you looking to be in the maybe next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, so I mean, really what I'm excited about this coming year I believe now 6 months into our new brand. And really that's just opened a new line of thinking of opportunity for us. So right now what we're doing, we have a team of about 16 hairdressers, and some of them are new, some of them have been around and already have a clientele. But really we're looking to really grow and maximize our space.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the keys to any salon is, how much can you make per square foot? How can you maximize your space with stations, but also get all of your stylists to the point where they're super busy,
Right.
and right, can't handle anymore. You have to extend the hours or whatever it is, or raise your prices, do whatever it takes to keep that bottom line going up.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, we're really in that huge growth phase. We're just now getting our brand out there. We're getting comfortable with it after saying, right, a different name for 10 years. I'm still getting used to even marketing our own brand.
Right.
So we're growing, we're exploring, and just seeing some opportunities and creative ways to build our brand within to
Mm-hmm.
keep our newer stylists going. But for us, the goal and the focus for us right now, really over this next 6 months to a year, is to expand what it is that we're doing. So one of that again being investing into some commercial real estate. I saw Lori mention about the private labeling products. That's something that we are looking into doing and are excited about doing. So that's something that's going to be, a huge potential for us. Not one of my personal friends, but one of Caleb's friends that he's worked with or spent some time with was the owner of Polk Ride.
Mm-hmm.
We sold that, I think, for maybe $100 million, something along those lines. So we definitely want to get into that retail side of things and just expand beyond just being behind the chair.
Right.
So there's so many different opportunities, again, whether it's real estate or retail or even just adding more salons now that we have a new brand to do so. That's something else that's on the table. So we're definitely looking into different opportunities and knocking on different doors.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited for what's to come.
I love that. And what's the salon producing on average per month right now?
So right now we're doing about $1 million a year. So like 80,000, give or take, each month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something for us. Our goal is to get back over. When I first got started, we were in a high traffic area.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually based in a mall, so a little more foot traffic. But at that point in 2010, maybe we were doing a little bit over 100,000 a month. So that's my immediate goal, wanting to get back to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, just build it and create more opportunities with that. Again, using that to fund commercial real estate or expanding locations. And also private labeling some products for the salon and the brand. So
you say it so nonchalantly, about 100,000 a month. That's a lot of money, right?
well,
And so
it's funny, it is, but
yeah.
at the same time, it's not. And that's something
Right.
for me, there's just being able to keep perspective.
Right.
When I feel like, man, that's going to be such a hard goal to hit. And there's times where it felt easy, and there's times when it felt damn hard. But at the same time, just realizing, there's other salons that have done it and have done more. There's a salon in Atlanta. They do about $10 million a year.
Yeah.
Well, that was something that just reset my perspective on, wow, okay, I can really make this work.
Right.
Because $1 million a year does not do what I want to be able to do. I'm very sold and said I need to get up to that 10 million a year point for.
Yeah, you need $1 million a month, right?
Yeah, some of the dreams and goals that I have for myself personally, but also for my family, and just being able to do those things that I want to do.
Yeah,
$1 million a month sounds about right as a starting point, right? But
that's starters, right?
Right. So just always keeping open and being around clients who have done some of those things also helps keep perspective.
Absolutely.
Right. Not being intimidated by $100,000 a month.
Right.
A client of mine just did I think $200 million project. That helps me realize, I guess 100,000 is nothing. I can figure this shit out. If he can figure out 200 million.
Yeah.
So utilizing people around me to inspire and push me.
Absolutely.
Helps keep perspective.
Absolutely. 100%. If you want to achieve success and you want to get that, vision and dream focused on things that, are out of what you believe is possible, just go find and see people who are doing it, have done it. Because more than likely they've been in the trenches too. They've been through, all the shit, and maybe they never thought that what they've been able to do is possible, but they did it. And so, if you look at those people who have done it, you can create that belief patterns to shift a little bit that like, man, I'm only making a couple $1,000s per month income right now. These other people who are doing exactly what I'm doing are making a lot more. Like, I can do that too. I just have to put in the work and model success, right? And so the easiest way, to get there is going to be to model those people who have already laid out in your steps what they did to get there, right? And so that's why, I really love, what we're doing here, what we're working on together too, is like really breaking down the steps to success in a way that like lets you kind of see behind the scenes, like what does $1 million salon look like? How is it built? How does it work? So you can kind of at least see that it's possible and see the steps to get there too, right? But it sounds like you guys you got some monster visions and goals, and I'm super excited for you guys. So it's going to be fun to see the journey in the next, year, 5, 10 years. Like, you got a long way to go. You're still young, right? How old are you now?
I'm 28.
28.
I'm 29 in September, but I set a goal for myself 10 years ago that I needed to have $1 million cash on hand by 30.
All right.
I've got a lot of work to do in this next.
We got a jet, right?
We got some work to do, but we're taking it day at a time. So.
That's awesome. Are we pretty close, or how close are we talking here?
Oh man, I got 2 kids now, man. Like that savings was spent up, so I've got a lot of work to do now. We're starting from scratch.
I feel you. So we got some ground to cover, right? But nothing's impossible, right? So I'm excited for that.
I've seen bigger things happen in shorter periods of time. So
yeah, 100%. Those fast results, that you see, like, oh, I did this amount of time or this amount of money in this amount of time. It's usually everything that led up to that allowed that to happen, right? And like, you guys have had, so much education, so much experience, and so much, positivity around you guys that like, you guys are going to do some awesome stuff, and you guys have such an awesome dynamic. I'm super excited for you guys. I'm glad to be a part of it too. So now that we've even had this connection personally, it's very helpful for me too to be motivated more to hit those goals and make sure that it can happen, right? Because
if we're working together, we both get there at the same time. So that's what
absolutely. So we just for those that are watching, and Kristen said Adam owns a society salon in Old Town Scottsdale. In Arizona. And we have now been working together for the past few months, right? You guys were looking to attract more clients for the salon. You have an amazing education dynamic. Product sales are great, but you guys are looking to get more attention, more traffic, and things like that. So we've been able to work together to create some good strategies and systems to attract more clients into the salon. And ultimately, how is that working so far?
So, it's working really good. And that's one thing that we've been attempting to solve, I would say, since we left the mall in a high foot traffic area, is how do we still get new people walking in the door on a daily basis?
Right.
And we definitely have spent, plenty of dollars with probably 4 or 5 different companies over the last 2 years. And you guys have had the best solutions to date. So I'm definitely happy to be working with you guys, and we're really just, I would say, scratching the surface of what we can do.
I know we're still coming up with new stuff together, because I think with both of us too, Katie and I, we've been doing this a while, and, we have some good systems in place, but to have someone like you who's, really focused and looking to kick it up a notch always, it keeps us on our toes to continue to develop and want to do more as well, so who knows what'll happen, here in the next few months, next year or so, because we're working on a new program and platform together as well to help other salon owners out there as well. You want to talk a little bit about some of what we're working on right now?
Yeah, so really what we're working on, right, is between us and Jordan and Katie, just being that total solution for what any salon would need or what any individual would need, right? Whether it's a conversation about retail and systems and salon operations, or whether it's getting into your cut and color education with Caleb and Dom, or marketing with Jordan and Katie, there's a lot of questions and a lot of challenges that people have that they cannot address or don't have the tools or the resources to take care of right away.
Right.
So that's something that we're wanting to be able to do, whether online or on video, and That platform is going to be launching, I think, within the next couple of weeks. I've still got my work to do to get us on board. But my real goal and my passion really and focus is getting back into the business, the operations.
Yeah.
So, right, whether it's systems to get your salon moving forward in retail, whether it's systems to work with your front desk and how they handle their booking, what type of software to use. And really for me, even from the ground up, the salon that we're in now was the first of two salons that I built now. So, right, there are those questions that you're going to have when it comes to how do I find a contractor? What's a decent bid look like? Or even, how do I get my paperwork set? How do I become a legal business?
Yeah.
And whether it's getting financing for your projects or whatever it is, those are things that I've really had to look into and work through.
Right.
The past 5 years specifically, as far as with franchising and being a part of a national franchise, some of those requirements, but also into doing it by myself with no name behind me. How do you get financing for that, or build again from scratch, or whatever it might be? Staffing is another huge thing, or even dealing with your staff. Right. Remember who it was? They commented they're working on getting some of their staff on board with retail.
Yeah.
But just tips and things on how to work with when those staff are running late or calling out or not showing customer service. I'm just sharing what I've learned with working with our teams that has helped, right? Nothing's perfect and it changes every day, I feel like, on those things that we go through. And there's always something new. But I can say at the peak, I think we had around 50 people on staff between our two locations. And at 24, I made a ton of mistakes. So I decided to be able to share what I've learned from those with others so they don't jump into that same, pile of shit, so to say, that I did.
Yeah. You made some mistakes when you were in your 20s? Are you kidding?
Yeah, exactly. But definitely learned a lot along the way from the franchise that we were with, but also just life, right? The other marketing companies, the HR companies, the contractors, and just putting that all together has definitely helped.
Yeah.
And like you had mentioned, Jordan, that quick return, right? If we are able to pull up that $1 million for both of us, right, in cash on hand in the next 18 months, it's really got nothing to do with the last 18 months, right? That's all about the last 10 years building up and just, almost in a sense, manifesting itself in these 18 months. Yeah. Because certain things just have that, gestation period.
Right.
It has to sit, it has to build, it has to grow, and then now it can display itself and we can really put out all those things that we've been working on at once. So
right. And that's why it's so important to have that aggressive, education as well, be passionate about and be motivated to educate yourself. Because if you want to be able to make plays like that, you have to go through, like you just said, the shit to get, the knowledge, the experience, the, wisdom, learning from others who have failed as well. You have to go through that phase where you're just absorbing and learning and, failing and failing and failing, to be able to, even have the resources, have the intellect, have the partner abilities to be able to make things like that happen. Right. And so Katie and I could say this best too, when we first got started our first year in business, nothing really ever happened. We made enough money to get by, but nothing really crazy happened. We were able to later that year, get our income to $30,000 per month. But it was like everything that happened before that allowed us to then be able to, maintain that. And we went through a lot of ups and downs, but to be able to, continue to evolve on top of that, it was all that year of misery, right? Where we were just educating ourselves and trying to figure it all out and trying things and failing and it not working, but we were persistent enough to make it work. And it all came from, the right partnership that we were getting ourselves around, the right education, the right people, like you said earlier too. And, here we are now, still not even close to where we want to be, and neither are you, right? But we're meeting people who, like yourself, have those big goals, those big visions, those big dreams. And like that motivates and inspires us to just rock and roll that much more when we're around other people who have been through the shit too and want to get out of it, and even just want to do great things and make an impact on the world too. So we are coming up on a wrap here. For you guys who enjoyed this, give us some hearts, give some comments. Thank you for Adam for being here, talking more about the project that we're working on. So you guys, if you saw the past interviews we did with Caleb and Dominique earlier this week, if you guys go ahead and drop in the comments hashtag boost my salon, we will let you guys know when we're releasing this new platform, this one-stop shop to kind of peel the curtains on everything that we've learned when it comes to, the inside education, the marketing, the sales, the retail, the how to manage your staff, how to grow your staff, how to have the strong mindset, what it really takes. I think our, really unique propositions, we want to help someone be able to go from, $0 to $1 million. What's that roadmap look like? What's that action plan look like? Maybe even now, if you're at 400,000 a year, maybe now if you're at, I don't know, 60,000 a year, how do you get systems and processes in place to get you on track to be able to hit that $1 million a year? Right. So I'm super excited for it. I mean, you guys are already there, and your father, Jerry, who I'm meeting here in a little bit, he's coming. We're going to be talking about this project as well. I'm super excited for it. And I think, you guys are going to carry on an amazing legacy with what you guys are doing with society. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. So anything you want to leave us with before we go, Adam?
I mean, honestly, in closing for me, guys, just continue to utilize that idea of momentum, right? Retail to me is a great starting point, but really it's about building those habits. Like Jordan said, surrounding yourself with the right people and just pushing forward day at a time. That's what's going to help. Yeah. And utilizing the mentoring, right? Whether it's us or somebody that's achieved that level that you want. Mm-hmm. And one thing somebody told me, right? Stop taking advice from broke people, right? If somebody's not doing better than you, yeah, which is a common thing in the hairdresser world, right? If you're both making 30 grand a year,
don't pretend you got it all figured out either. I see that happen all the time.
Find the busiest hairdresser in your area.
Yeah.
Start copying them. Or right. That's if your goal is $1 million, that's where we're at.
Right.
Come talk with us and we'll help you get to that same point because we've done that. We're doing that. And
exactly.
I think that's the key, working with those who are at that level that you can get to, not those that are at where you're currently at. So
absolutely. And that's the thing I do see, in this industry too, is a lot of people are getting advice from people who necessarily haven't achieved success or created success, maybe for themselves, but not maybe the success that you want. If you want to achieve success, all you have to do is model from those who have already succeeded and already been there, right? And so everything that Katie and I have learned has been from someone who has achieved success. We didn't learn any of the stuff we know in school. And a lot of it we have had to figure out through our own experiences and mess ups. But to be able to get a good solid foundation and get any momentum whatsoever, we had to learn from people who had already done it and already had to achieve success. And that's what allowed us to unlock our mindset, get motivated, but also have strategies in place to be able to get there. We just had a ton of people hop on while we're wrapping up here. Connie hopped on, Crystal hopped on, Claire hopped on, Michelle hopped on, Bree. Ashley said, thank you so much. There's no better time to be a hairstylist, said Taylor. Taylor said goals. So she enjoyed that. If you guys just popped in, make sure you watch the replay. This was an awesome interview talking about how to boost those numbers up and also, get focused on that dream, mission, and goal to do bigger and better things and, getting connected with people who are, at a level you want to be at or higher so that you can be able to model, in their success and get out of that slump you're in. Do more than pay the bills. Go make some money. All right, $1 million. But appreciate it again, Adam. Boost my salon. Drop that in the comments if you want to hear more about what we're working on. But I'll go ahead and let you go. I'm sure you gotta go take care of the kiddo. It's getting late. So we'll see you soon. All right, Adam.
Exactly. All right. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you later, man.